chapter of BA. We were in the last part we discussed the different thoughts of management. In that I discussed the classical thoughts, neoclassical thoughts. Now the third one, that is the thoughts of behavior, that is behavior related thoughts. Behavior related thought emphasis on the job satisfaction and the areas the efficiency of employees through psychological findings. Behavior related thoughts includes entire human relation, increments, leadership, disposable of industrial disputes, and so on. This way the behavior related thoughts are being taken into consideration in this part. The concept like inner human relation, motivation, leadership, information, communication process, disposal of industrial disputes are included in behavior related thoughts. Since this approach is psychological, it seems that economic parameter has been neglected. Now the next one is, that is the modern thought. Here in modern thought, a unique professional class was arisen with management and non-conformity to only business units, where advocacy was made for psychological, social studies, then mathematical and computer information technology. In modern thoughts, they implemented the different management gurus like Cruz O'Donnell, George Terry contributed in this thought. Moreover, Peter Drucker, William Oachi, C.V. Prahlad have also contributed in these thoughts. Now moving towards the next topic, that is Frederick Taylor's principle of scientific management. Here Frederick Taylor has explained that each and every business has a scientific management is a mental revolution on the part of particular unit of employee in a factory. It's a total mental revolution towards their tasks, duties, colleagues and owner, that each and Frederick Taylor, knowing exactly what you want from your man to do and see it to they do it in the best and the cheapest way. Workers and to see they do it certainly and least expense is scientific management. Here Frederick Taylor says that you should know what you want from the workers and the workers what they want from their employer. This is the main base in this scientific management. There are different things that are included in principle of scientific management according to Frederick Taylor. The first point is scientific method. To do work scientifically is to be adopted, and traditional methods should be kept in mind so that you work in the best way and get the best result from it. The second point is planning and implementation. In planning and implementation, instead of workers doing planning and implementation, it should be done by the experts so that the planning does not fail, because the experts have the experiences. The third point is job analysis. In job analysis, here it is the best way to get work done, especially with the lower cost, increased productivity and reduce the cost of production. And so job analysis has to be done when the work is going on. Now the fifth point is standardization. A product which is produced by the employees, they should be of standard quality. Standardization and simplicity are scientific process which should be done in advance. Equipments, time, situation of work, resources, etc. matters are considered for standardization. Next point is scientific selection and training. In scientific selection and training, selected workers should be done appropriately and scientifically. For scientific standards, benchmarks like education of employees, skills, goods, physical strength, training, extras should be taken into consideration while they are appointed. This all points should be taken into consideration. Next point is economical. Seventh point is economical. In economical, during the implementation of scientific management, scientific and technical base are not taken into consideration, but low cost of production are taken into consideration. Cost estimation and cost control methods should be considered. Whatever the deviations are there, they are found, they should be removed. Deviation, that means they are not actual what your goal is, and so if there are any problems, hurdles in the process, you should remove them. And the last one is mental resolution. In mental resolutions, there should be mental resolution for achievement between owners and workers. Mental resolution reduces stress between owners and workers, and the achievement of goal becomes easy because each of them understands one another and they work on the same. Now next point is techniques of principles of scientific management. In this, first is time study. That time study means scientific study being done for the time required for completion of certain part of task. For example, if 100 units are to be produced in 5 days, then if they want in 1 day, so if you want to reduce the time, you can increase the number of labor, and with this you can increase the production work. Instead of 5, you can do in 2 days, 1 day, but by increasing the number of labors. And that study has to be made, that if the producer or the supplier needs them early and you take more time, then you can increase the number of labors and make them more speedily. The second study is motion study. Motion study means method of removing wastage of resources due to unnecessary and unproductivity movement of man and material. Waste generated from unproductive movements unnecessary, because if the person has to move from one place to another for the work to be done, then instead of it should be collected at one place and they can be produced, so that the time to go from one place to a traveling time can be reduced and they can produce on time limit or whatever time is been allotted to them. That can be done very easily. So in motion study, the study of the workers that who are going to produce the things should be done very easily, and so unnecessary wastage of time should be removed, and the materials from which the products are to be produced, that should be also available. If careful study is made when worker is doing movement at the time of working, then industrial fatigue of worker can be removed. Next one is differential wage rate study. In differential wage rate study means method of encouragement related wages on the basis of time of workers' work, because they are going to work for you, but if you take care of them, you motivate them time to time, the workers will work for you more honestly and without any grudges. Frederick Taylor favored this motivational wage method. Each worker working in a factory have different work efficiency. Considering this, efficient workers should given more wages, and workers having less efficiency should be given less wage. This was the differential wage rate system. Now the next one is management principle of Henry Fayol RS under. He has done different methods to get the managerial principles, and according to Henry Fayol, the first one is Division of work. Here you can see the division of work. The work should be divided among different people according to their caliber, skill, knowledge, so that your work can be done very easily and in a fast way. The second one is authority and responsibility. Authority and responsibility, they go hand in hand. If a person is been given authority, he should have the responsibility also. If authority is there and responsibility is not there, then it will not be good. So power without responsibility and responsibility without power are incomplete. When a person is assigned a responsibility for some job, at the same time power should be assigned to him. He should have the same power to take the decision in that particular field. Third point is discipline. Optimum use of equipments and consistencies of activities are very much necessary for industrial discipline. Discipline creates certain kind of harmonious environment. Otherwise, it can be a very much disaster if there is not discipline in the work, and so it is necessary to maintain the discipline. Next point is unity of command. Unity of command means you will get the order just from single person. That is very much necessary, because if you are able to get the commands from each and every one, you won't be able to concentrate on your work, and so it is necessary that a single person is there to give you command and you have to follow him only. Whatever your superiors are telling, you have to follow according to that. That is unity of command, receiving the orders from single person. Fifth point is unity of direction. The direction which has been given or guided to you should be also from one single person. It should not change from person to person. And the person who is going to guide you, to direct you, should be having good job knowledge and he should be specialized in that field. The sixth point is subordination of individual interest to the general interest. The person who has been allotted the work should have a good interest in that particular work, otherwise he won't concentrate in that work and you won't get the whatever result is been there or whatever your goal is that. The seventh one is remuneration of personals. Whatever wages the workers are getting should be according to their skill, knowledge and their studies, because if they are not getting, if they are underestimated or not getting the required remuneration, then it will hurt them and they will not do the good work for the business. The next point is centralization. Whatever orders are there, they should be given by one single person to whom they have to follow. That is centralization. There must be clarity that to which extent centralization or decentralization. Decentralization means when the work has been divided into different group of people, and centralization when you have to follow one single person and you have to complete your work. So it should be decided whether to have a centralization or decentralization. Next one is scalar chain. Here in scalar chain you will find out that the principal emphasis on creating chain from top level to bottom level. That chain should follow. Top level will give orders to middle level will give it to bottom level, and this way whatever orders are there, they will be followed by the different three levels of the workers, and so it is called scalar chain. The next point is order. The order should be given according to the parameters: raw material arrangement and social arrangement. Each part of raw material should be at its appropriate place. Likewise, skilled employees should also be placed at right place. In whatever according to his skill, knowledge, he should be given allotted the job. Next point is equality. Here in equality, the employees are a part of managerial system. Since the employees are human beings, they should not be there should not be any grudges, and they should all be treated equally, so that no one is doing any partiality to any one. So it is one of the main point that equality should be maintained. Next is stability of personal tenure. How much work they are going to do, what is the time limit of the employees. Permanent and stable employees are the assets of any business units. An employee can develop himself by remaining to one unit and contributing in the achievement of the goals of the business, because when he stays for a longer duration, he works, he knows the environment and everything very nicely, and he gets the good experience in your firm. Next point is initiative. The initiative portion, as quality of entrepreneurship is necessary for industrialists, in the same way there should be quality of initiation in employees. Industrials should provide such atmosphere that initiation may be encouraged. They come forward and they tell the steps to you for the development of the company and the business. In the last, the contribution of Peter Drucker in the field of management. He has mainly contributed to human resource management, marketing management, and stress management. Hence, Peter F. Drucker is called the father of the modern management. This is one liner. It has been asked in multiple choice and 1 mark question. Please note it down. Peter F. Drucker is called the father of the management. Here he has given many of the well-known managerial leadership qualities, he was a famous writer, philosopher, and educator. Peter Drucker's important contribution was management by objective and principle of self-regulations are the main points on which he focused. This was the last point in this chapter. Now I will discuss the multiple choice question. Here the first one is, what is the principle of management? And the correct answer is result of experience. Second point, the second question is, why need arises to make changes in principle of management? It is because of technology. It does not remain the same. It keeps on changing. Third question is, who is the promoter of scientific management? And the correct answer is Frederick Taylor. Fourth question, which thoughts were presented till the end of 19th century? And that is classical. Fifth question, who was the promoter of neoclassical thought? And the correct answer is Elton Mayo. Sixth question, who said that you save your employees will save yours everything? The correct answer is Professor Urich. Seventh one, which management gurus given below have contributed in modern thoughts? And correct answer is C.K. Prahalad. Eighth question, who has given general principle of management? And the correct answer is Henry Fayol. Ninth question, method of removing wastage generated from unnecessary movement done in wrong direction from any work. It is called motion study. 10th question, who was the founder of principle of management by objective? And the correct answer is Peter F. Drucker. 11th question, which activity from the following is possible by implementing labor division? That is specialization. Correct answer is specialization. Last one, if employees does not get appropriate compensation, then what arises? And the correct answer is labor turnover rate arises. And this is the end of the chapter. Students, go through the question answers and please write them and start learning for your